which is going to be able to happen first, but here we go. Picks and bans for the final game of LCK Summer. ROX Tigers versus KT Rolster. And this is going to be fascinating. Again, of course, we expect the Gnar ban. Natalia probably going to get banned out as well.
Yeah, should be the last ban for KT on the red side. The question is, do they depart from the Varus?
Look at this blue side, red side ban. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Huh.
Last time it was Aurelion Sol and Jin in conjunction with the Gnar on the blue side for the ROX Tigers. They are leaving both up.
Oh boy.
Are they setting up for a first pick, Talia or Elise? In this particular case?
We might see Talia versus Aurelion Sol here.
Yeah, they definitely are setting up for a first pick Elise here. That is the gambit they have tried to employ in the final game of this best of 5.
Now, Fly has had the impressive counter picks to champions. They're giving up Talia. You have to think Fly has something special. He's on the red side.
He will have access to the Aurelion Sol this game, but Jin...
Arrow gets his Jin.
Arrow, so far in these playoffs, has been an astounding 36-0 and 45.
You gotta take it.
Over 5 games onto Jin. He is flawless in the playoffs on this champion. You have to take it now.
Yeah, you absolutely pick this Jin. If you don't, you know the ROX Tigers are going to.
There is a risk to it. Obviously, not a lot of mobility, so getting isolated with the Weaver's Wall is a major concern.
I mean, ROX Tigers could just craft their composition around diving this Jin, too. I mean, it is a concern that KT needs to have, but with the performance Arrow's been able to put out on this Jin, with how good Prey is on the pick, too, I feel like you gotta pick it.
But where's the jungle pull out, gentlemen? Because Gragas, Rek'Sai, Nidalee, and Elisa bet Hecarim might have to be seeing play here, even though Hecarims have been punished more recently because there's not much left.
No, there isn't. Maybe? And the GP is up too, so many power picks. This series having to be. Smeb looks very excited right now.
I think we're all excited right now.
It's Hecarim GP probably, I would think.
The only other jungler is Peanut has played a game of Lee Sin, so that will be a consideration. He's got Ghost as the summoner though, so that pretty much spoils.
If they go Hecarim
could be GP,
think of how insane the damage is going to be from ROX Tigers, their ability to run people over.
If they go Hecarim Sivir, they just want to get in all over that Jin and take him out, so... The Ghost seems to suggest it will be a Hecarim eventually at least, but...
I think you gotta take the GP here. I mean, Sivir's great for the engage too, I suppose.
Remember that Fly does play mid lane Echo, so there is still that flex pick nature to talk about there.
Yeah.
And you don't have to take the Sivir right now if you're the ROX Tigers. You can hold on to that pick with the Jin already on the board for KT.
Yeah.
There should be Hecarim GP.
All right, I like it. I like it. And look at these guys. I mean, the final game of the entire tournament, Game 5, and they're laughing in the booth. Like, this is the ROX Tigers, man. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, Money. I've never seen a team have as much fun in the booth as ROX Tigers.
I think they just didn't expect the Elise last ban from KT. I think they were like, you're going to ban Talia. And once they got the first pick Talia, and there was no jungler drafted on KT side, they were over the moon.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, the Aurelion Sol, rather, you'd have to expect for Fly here.
We saw the nice first trade he got against the Talia earlier, and he has a much lower pressure jungler in terms of the Hecarim. Now, Score has played a lot of Kindred this season. Obviously more towards the start of the season. He's bringing it back.
But the problem is that with the Hecarim ulting, you can knock the people off the Lamb's Respite.
Yeah.
Now, we have seen Score draft Kindred into Gragas earlier in the season, which of course is one of the most obvious counter matchups. You throw the casket, goodbye, value from the ultimate. But Kindred, even after the nerfs, is a very strong dueling jungler. Kindred can get in there and kill a Hecarim. He can get in there and help kill a gangplank. It needs to be Kindred running over the Rift in the early game, which after the nerfs is more difficult, but still possible for KT.
Yeah, and it is worth noting, Score does have 11 games of Kindred this season.
How do you feel about Gorilla taking the Taric away from Hachani here?
I think you take the Alistar, frankly, against the Kindred. I think it's a better pick, but
he's nodding.
It's a very good late-game team fighting composition for the ROX Tigers. They already have Engage with the Talia and the Hecarim, so they can go for a bit of safety, team fight safety with the Taric.
They got a skill matchup in the mid lane. They could have multiple other losing lanes. We've already seen people try to draft really selfishly. Hachani will go through to the Bard once again, but there's a lot of speed, and Bard can definitely get collapsed on against champions like Hecarim and Sivir.
Oh, so can Jin too. I mean, KT is looking at a lot of risk. in this draft.
Score has to go godlike in this game. He did it godlike against Faker and SKT in Game 4, but this needs to be the Kindred game to end all Kindred games. Otherwise, ROX Tigers, look at that late game. It is insane.
And he hasn't had the big Kindred games recently. When we've seen him
no
play,
one has.
No, nobody has. But he's the only one who's even tried Kindred since the whole raft of nerfs came through. And even in those games, he hasn't looked dominant. It hasn't looked the same. And one thing we have to consider too is that there were nerfs to the Kindred's dueling ability against AD champions in the early game. At least sometimes you can see it against an AP jungler, but Hecarim may not be the ticket here.
Well, we'll find out. Smeb on that Gangplank someday, sticking to the Echo that he's relied on so much over the course of the season. Looked a little bit nervous in game number 1, but someday has really gotten it together here in the later stages of this series. In the jungle, Peanut on the Hecarim, the aggro jungler on possibly the most aggro of picks right now.
It didn't need to be this way.
It didn't. I think this is a huge win in the draft for ROX.
Absolutely.
So far, I mean, Smeb is undefeated on the Gangplank. They got the Bonanza. They got Talia and GP on blue side.
Yeah. There it is. Fly on that Aurelion Soul, so another comfort pick for him, but I agree. I mean, going into this one, it really feels like it's ROX Tigers' game to lose, doesn't it?
But KT does it their way. Fly is the best embodiment. They've always had the different champion. They've always had the different way at approaching the game, and they have taken so many risks here, but KT Rolster, everything to win, and this is the draft they come up with.
And finally, Gorilla on that Tarek, taking it away from Achani, who's been so great on that champion. And here it is, the final game of LCK Summer. ROX Tigers versus KT Rolster. The winner will finally get a tournament win after so many attempts. Let's see who takes it. Time to get in the game. Welcome for the last time to Summoner's Rift. ROX Tigers versus KT Rolster, game number 5. The first game 5 we have seen in a Korean final since 2014 when it was the KT Arrows that got the win. We'll see if KT can do it again. Score, of course, was not on that team, but was on the team the year before that lost that reverse sweep to SK Telecom, the famous Zed versus Zed duel in the end of that one. Feel pretty good for that guy to finally get a win. ROX Tigers, of course, trying for so long.
I mean, so many storylines come to a culmination in this particular series. ROX Tigers, do they finally get that first big win? KT Rolster can score, a guy who has been around since the OGN Invitational, before Champions even existed as a concept, get his first big win on the second attempt. There's so much to talk about, and it's fun to note also that maybe last year was a sidestep because every other summer final's gone to 5 games, and now this one has 2.
A lot of damage on the Hachani early on. This bot lane is going to be a bloodbath, though. You can tell these two teams are feeling it. This is the final game. Somebody's gonna die in this 2v2, I'm telling you.
It's gonna be a Chani.
Dazzle onto Arrow. Ooh. Man, this is already pretty tense.
I mean, both sets of fans were so loud on their team chat, and then they both applauded the game 5. That's how excited everyone here is for this match.
Of course, man. This is one of the most hyped matches we've ever had. Kuro takes a lot of damage here. Fly doing work on that Aurelion Soul. Really the only person in the league that's played it. Done well with it.
Kuro's 0-1. Faker had an unconvincing game, but that's maybe going to be one of those differences, guys, because Fly is the master of Aurelion Soul in Korea, and Kuro had a good Talia game, and those are different things.
Very different. Talia, though, we've seen what a strong pick that's been all night long.
Won both of the games that Talia has been played so far.
Smeb on the Gangplank, too. I mean, talk about something else we've seen all night long. The damage this champion puts out is just absolutely nuts.
You know, once this early gank up top lane.
Yeah, he needs to be really careful, though. That's troublesome 2v2 against the Kindred and the Echo. So one of the big problems here for the ROX Tigers is Smeb, yes, he did get first blood. He got a solo kill in game number 1 when he played the GP. But he's, at least in this game, not going to have much backup from his jungler early.
Yeah, he just got to do some farming.
And Kindred 2v2 or 1v1 is still incredibly strong in the early game. And they're going to be pushing up the mid lane for now, at least as you can see. They were pushing in top lane as well. They have good kill pressure in bot lane, so the lanes in general support Score playing very aggressively.
Yeah. You really look at a later stage of this game and you know, can KT keep arrows safe on that Jhin?
No, I don't think they have the tools to do it, though.
It's going to be tough, isn't it?
There's too many ways for him to get intercepted in the backline. Cannon Barrage, Onslaught of Shadows, Weaver's Wall. His flash is down, and KT categorically cannot fight.
All right,
they're going to wait for the TP and then Smeb to walk forward on this one. Clever, someday.
All right, this could be first blood. Smeb walking right up. Got to be a little bit suspicious here. There's the W from Echo. Does not connect. Smeb's still in a ton of trouble. He's going to flash. Will he make it out? Doesn't look like it. Oh, he lives! He lives with just 41 hit points left. Somehow, some way, that flash was enough, and someday nearly dying during that.
Yeah, Kindred nerfs come through. You can see that lower damage was about 50 HP from getting the kill.
Yeah.
Calculations off for KT Rolster. Smeb gets away.
Someday, obviously, getting back to lane a little bit quicker. Be able to catch up and farm.
Smeb did blow his TP just to get ganked right there, so
yeah.
Pressure's still going to be on from Someday, and there is a possibility with Someday with a flash of a repeat gank.
Yep.
But Smeb just skirted the edge of that parallel convergence, so didn't have to get slowed up at all. Didn't have to use his oranges early or anything of the sort, so just gets out barely, and Peanut will just keep farming.
Meanwhile, Score doing his own farming in the jungle. And this bot lane, nobody going down yet, even CSO between the AD carries. And this 2v2 has a chance to really erupt at any time.
Worth noting that Someday has gone double Doran Ring and is down in CS against a Gangplank, so he's gone laning items. He's already had the jungle help but not got the kill. That's just going to delay his effective items later. So the fact that Smeb's building for lane and winning in CS is a problem for KT Rolster.
Yeah.
It really does echo a lot of the problems that we saw in game number 1 between ROX and KT here, where Smeb got super powered very early.
Oh, Dazzle onto Hachani. ROX Tigers going for this one. A little bit of damage. No junglers around to tip the scales. They were certainly ready for that Bard coming from the river, though.
Back to a bit of equilibrium now. We're going to wait and see if KT can take advantage of the flash loss that Smeb suffered in that first game.
Smeb,
man, he is playing on a knife's edge around those parallel convergences.
Let's look a bit further into the game when we get to the point where Aurelion Sol and Echo will be split pushing. Johnny looking to the mid lane, but not going to find anything. The big question to me is that when you have Rod of Aegis Rylai's, does Aurelion Sol have kill pressure on a Gangplank? Because you got to say that cleansing the slow isn't going to do a lot. And if both Echo and Aurelion Sol have kill pressure on the Gangplank, it does pose some problems for ROX Tigers.
It's also interesting that Fly did change his summoner spell choice. He was up against the Taliyah GP combo in game number 1 and had Exhaust. So this time I thought, I think that the Exhaust is definitely more useful for the Aurelion Sol against the Gangplank in the late game.
Well, they considered the 3-man game, but they're going to back away.
Yeah. Kuro just peeking down into the forest for the moment. Gorilla taking a bit of damage here. Needs to be careful. Going for the Dazzle on the arrow. They find it. Still has the summoners up, though. Not going to have to use any of them, knowing his limits. Ray Gorilla, there's the GPL dropped. Still can't force any summoners out. Peanut not close enough to capitalize on that.
That's pretty poor coordination from ROX, honestly. They still will get to deny some minions and get some damage in, but think of how many tools they had. They had the Peanut with Ghost and Ultimate. They had Taliyah who could have roamed over, but the Gangplank ult was early.
Well, if they can get first brick, it's worth it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but Peanut, you know, he's not exactly helping right now. They only got about a quarter damage down onto the turret on the wave. They haven't chopped yet.
It's ganking time. They're coming in 3 members of KT trying to jump onto Smeb here. He does not have his flash. He is dead. Here comes Fly over the wall. No chance. First blood going to Fly's Aurelion Sol.
I mean,
And they might get the turret too out of this.
They shouldn't have even tried with Kuro to come over on that gank. They should have just pressured into the mid lane if possible. KT may be able to really convert off this if Smebit, nope, not gonna get it. But if Smebit had his cannon barrage there, it would have been a different story.
I mean, Gangplank dying in lane is certainly not a new thing. It's not a consequential thing either, but the first brick that they are gonna get here would certainly be that. Remember, the Gangplank ult was to facilitate either a dive or first brick. They got neither, and that's a big swing to KT.
One critical thing about the Kindred that we need to address too is that ranged junglers do have additional value on 615 because they are able to help push down that turret and get the extra gold. So that was not true the last time we saw Score playing this Kindred. This time he's able to join up in lane and help push down the turret.
And I guess, you know, you think about Kindred and Graves, because Graves is the other ranged AD champion that would make a lot of sense. Graves does have the better wave push, but you know, in a world where the ults are down and you can fight next to your Jhin with the Kindred ultimate super defensively, maybe that vindicates the pick, but maybe it's just comfort because Graves was available and passed up for the Kindred that has been out of the meta for so long.
I think it's definitely comfort here. I think it's definitely comfort. Score's second most played champion this season.
I mean, how many people can find comfort in Game 5 of a final? They plug and play the Kindred. If that helps Score's mindset, the captain of the team, the veteran, then maybe it's worth it.
Well, I think he would have preferred to be a bit more comfortable on a Rek'Sai or a Gragas, but you know, you take what you can get with so many jungle bans in the big ban phase.
4 bans and then the Hecarim picked away.
Yeah.
Now, still not a big deal really for the ROX Tigers. 500, 600 gold disadvantage, not going to be too consequential.
Especially
we're talking about their scaling.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, especially with a GP in the game. Kuro obviously is going to do a ton. Prey as well, so still a very close game between these
Fly
two
has
teams.
a revolver in his inventory, so he seems to be looking at a proto belt here on the
Wow, this would be different.
Aurelion Sol.
Yeah, a little bit more mobility. Prey slowed up. Peanut coming in for a lane gank. Has not been spotted just yet.
Yeah, no Kindred here.
Arrow does not have a summoner heal, but he still has flash to use if he needs to escape. It's going to be tough to lock down that Jhin, I think.
I mean, that's going to be spotted on a ward if he walks up. Hasn't been.
Not quite yet. Oh, Prey could be in big trouble here, trying to dodge around the curtain call. Manages to do it. That was a tense moment, though, for Prey. Smeb forced out a lane by Someday now. Someday definitely with that advantage up in top for the moment.
Able to build for lane as well. But the Trinity Force isn't forced to go into the emergency Sunfire Cape like we saw in Game 1.
Yep. Dazzlon to Chani just be annoying. Nice boomerang play for Prey rather to capitalize on that.
I gotta ask you guys a question. Why the Bard this game? That's kind of what I wondered, is that I don't really know why Hachani elected for Bard over any other support, given that there's not a Jhin to catch with the stasis. This is basically a death ball comp from ROX Tigers. They want to dive in as aggressively as possible, very fast. I mean, Bard is susceptible at the best of times to mobility. What exactly is he ulting, which is a slow-moving projectile as well?
You can remove a GP from a fight for a little bit, I suppose.
I mean, if you can hit him through a Sivir ult, that's the big question.
Yeah.
Trinity Force game.
Not saying it's easy.
Hecarim with Ghost, Kuro has Ghost, they have Sivir ultimate as well.
Oh, Kuro going in on the score. He's got Peanut right there as well. There's the Lamb's
He's all
respite.
alone.
KT trying to get there to help their jungler. They can't do it. Nice pick for the ROX Tigers.
Prey and Gorilla had already faded into the lane.
Yeah.
Fly was zoned out of that fight. There is basically no business that Score had doing there in the river at that time. So easy pick setup for the ROX Tigers. But that was a result of pushing that bottom lane, having some freedom for the AD carry to move into the mid lane and create that zone.
I mean, it was some greed. It was actually the mark that the mark of the Kindred was applied to that Scuttle Crab. So got greedy trying to get stacks, and it was an inappropriate time for Score to do that.
So the kills 1-1. The gold dead even now. KT with that turret lead.
The proto, I mean, the working towards the proto. Actually, it's going to actually be the GLP as the first item here, so it's not going to be a Rod of Ages.
Wow.
Wow.
Huh. That's
First
very
time we've seen this item in Korea.
Yeah, it is the first time we've seen this item in Korea.
interesting.
Didn't even consider that when we saw Catalyst and
Yeah,
the
of course,
Revolver that it built out of.
yeah.
Well, I mean, the first time we're seeing it is in Game 5 of the finals. So talk about hiding a strategy here.
Now, of course, that means they won't have a ramp-up time. It's not a scaling item like Rod of Ages.
Grill and Peanut waiting for Arrow. Oh, he's one closer. There's the dazzle. They landed. Arrow has the flash. Can he go away?
Oh!
Magical Journey denied. Uh-oh. Peanut chasing. Peanut could be in trouble here. GPL dropped down. Someday teleported. Peanut trying to avoid that curtain call. Kuro slowed up by the parallel convergence. Someday on his own in the 3v or 4v1 rather. Snap zoning Aurelion Soul away. And that is a kill for Kuro on the Talia. ROX Tigers making something out of that mess of a fight.
Peanut made a mistake in that fight. He actually knocked the...
Oh, we're not done yet. Kuro has to flash to try to get away. He's on the run. Arrow had that deadly flourish, couldn't catch it. Meanwhile, the turret goes down. So one turret taken by KT, or I'm sorry, by the ROX Tigers. Will they maybe be able to give themselves a dragon opportunity? I think they just have.
Yeah, it looked like the Bard was actually knocked out of the Magical Journey by the fear, but Peanut tried to follow through under the turret. If he had stuck around and just dealt with the Bard, that could have been a cleaner execution from the ROX Tigers.
That's big too. ROX Tigers take Mountain Drake, so now any sort of pick can easily lead into bigger objectives.
Could have been more kills for the ROX Tigers, as you're mentioning, Monty. Could have been cleaner. There was actually a cosmic binding to stun Kuro as he came off the Weaver's wall as well. So, in general, KT lost the minimum 4. Could have been bigger for ROX, but ROX still take a sliver of a lead. And they have the Gangplank, they have the Hecarim, they have the scaling. So, 500 gold lead is an implied bigger lead for ROX Tigers.
I'd say so. Another Mountain Drake on the way next.
GOP, for people that might not be familiar with that item, does give you that extra nuke and a slow on the Aurelion Soul. So it's a bit like the Voice of Light when it comes to another projectile slow.
It's also another way to set up a pick here for KT. We talk about the Bard. One thing Bard can do very well is maneuver around the map with the Magical Journey to set up ultimates or cosmic bindings in order to set up picks. So Fly now has an additional slow there, can create some follow-up. Interesting build. Interesting adaptation when they see this matchup again. Different summoners, different itemization for Fly, but he's not going to be so potent in the late game. So I think KT realized that this is a game they're going to have to win early, and so they're going for the maximum amount that they can get in the mid game.
Oh, it's a little bit of an iffy start in that regard.
ROX are going to come online in a big way in the next few minutes. Double Trinity Force almost complete between Gangplank and Hecarim.
Yeah, oh, Tempered Fate meant to hit Kuro. He doesn't get hit by it though, barely gets out of range in time.
Well, he was standing next to the wall, so he actually had the rock surfing passive up, so a little bit of extra mobility there to help him dodge out.
Certainly helps. Either way, an ultimate use for not a lot of gain from KT. Someday comes up to clean out this wave. He's in trouble though. We'll see, Peanut coming through.
They can't see anybody in this lane right now. Peanut and Smeb sneaking through the brushes. Smeb gonna show up. He doesn't know the Peanut's there.
Peanut has not been spotted yet.
That was very sneaky.
Oh, and there he goes, and Someday GPL dropped immediately. Gonna try to get away. And Score is right there to help out. Peanut has to ult back over the wall to escape. And Smeb on the run now. He's got his flash. He's gonna use it. Will he live though? Fly. And Kuro coming up the mid lane. Peanut on the run though. Voice of Light used to push Peanut back. And here comes Gorilla popping that ultimate on the Taric, and that's going to keep them safe. But man, what a tense fight.
Everyone playing on the knife's edge in that fight. Smeb baiting for as long as possible, held onto the orange, had flash as well. No one dies. This is exactly the sort of action you want. It's almost even at 17 minutes in a best-of-5 fifth game.
Yeah, but again, a bit of a misplay there from Peanut. He did go a bit too far after Someday had used that chrono break. Did have to ult back over the wall and abort the gank.
Look, remember, it's his second playoff ever. It's game 5. He's a young player. He's definitely the rookie of this lineup. If he's going to have one fault, I want it to be over-aggression rather than passivity. So I credit him for making plays, but you're right. Nerves are getting to him at least a little bit.
Well, I think the nerves are probably getting to everybody at this point. I mean, this is probably one of the most stressful games most of these guys have played, although Score, again, was part of that SKT-KT Game 5 back in 2013.
Well, so were KT. I mean, 3 of these guys won a Game 5. Arrow, Hajani, and Someday.
That is true.
And 2014, so...
And the ROX Tigers have been to a lot of finals.
And this is the first 5th game that is, of course, not a draft, not a blind pick game. You know, it's draft mode once again, so
That's true.
It's a little bit different. Of course, the blind pick games had a lot of action, but they could lead to some really weird edge scenarios when it came to summon a spell choice. You know, you didn't know if you needed a cleanse, for example, so...
They usually ended up being very one-sided very early on, so this one will be a closer game in the end, most likely.
Theoretically, at least, the most strategic options available in a 5th game in Korean history.
Could be.
In a final.
Sure. In a final.
In a final. With that caveat, all right, somebody gonna come in here onto Smeb.
Hit Smeb with the parallel convergence, gonna slow him down. Smeb with no summoners and KT going for the Rift Herald at the same time.
Gonna get maximum
Smeb got
uptime on
away.
this Rift Herald. It'll be up till 39 minutes and a half if they take it now.
Yep,
First Rift Herald of this series.
I guess so. Not a big priority objective, really. Somebody take it. There we go. Okay, they're gonna give it to Score. Nobody wanted it. Rift Herald buff for you there, I guess. But Score should be able to put it to good use.
Jhin has a lot of value in this particular game because they drafted the gangplank early. The front line's not there for ROX. They look for a gank rush, so flat armor penetration gets a lot of value this game for the Jhin.
Yeah, smart of Arrow, though, did throw his blue trinket ward into that brush.
Yep.
Catch them out. Playing very cautiously here as we are 40 seconds away from Mountain Drake number 2. ROX in a good position. Arrow has to be so careful about pushing up this wave, and that's just giving ROX priority over the objective.
All right.
Fun how KT have the huge pressure advantage in top lane, whereas ROX in bot lane.
Oh, Fly gets pulled in by the W. There's a gameplay call dropped as well. Voice of Light used to try to push them back. Someday on the run, Achani comes in, can't really help people out. Peanut over the wall. Meanwhile, Score gets the kill against Smeb up near top lane. Weaver's wall separates ROX Tigers a little bit, actually. Someday gets exhausted as he re-engages. Gorilla going ahead, helping Bray pick up that kill. They're gonna trade, though. One goes over onto Arrow's Jhin. Fly gonna get taken down finally by Peanut, you would think at some point. Meanwhile, Echo Someday manages to get the kill against Bray, and Fly actually floats his way to freedom. AT coming up big in that fight.
Smeb did not expect Score to be in the top lane at that point in time. So Score, using that dueling advantage, in spite of the fact that he doesn't have a teleport to make it to that fight, wins the 1v1.
And it was the ROX Tigers that started that fight. They tried to make the pick on Fly, and it went terribly wrong.
And now we might have 3 people on the side of KT that can take the gangplank in a split push. This is Score, just some Smeb walks up.
Just didn't know he was there?
He had no idea that there was that. I mean, you can understand it's a jungler being.
Yeah, you never expect the jungler to be there in a million years when that Drake is coming up in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And this is it. Arrow gets free time to channel the ultimate, no pressure onto him.
Such a close fight. Kuro goes aggressive, nearly takes out Fly.
Yeah, Someday cleaning up Prey on the backside of this was really good too. Prey actually, I think, panic flashes right there. There's really not a way he's going to get away from Someday.
I think you're right.
So he does use his flash unnecessarily. That may come back to haunt him, but...
I think KT's going to find an opportunity to take this Mountain Drake too.
Yeah, Score can do a lot of damage to it. Just mano-y-mano here. He's going to grab it, so we will even up on...
Drake.
And look, he's changed his item build. It's going to be Trinity Force from the jungle on the Kindred, so a bit more burst coming through the trades. Obviously, when he has his W and Q up, he does have the easy way to proc the Trinity Force passive multiple times.
All right, well, still a close game, but KT grabbing a little bit of the momentum back.
They're trying to play the pressure game. They want the game to now enter the 1-3-1 phase because we've already established that everyone can kill Smeb on the gangplank, which shouldn't be too surprising, but they're playing around it with the core really smartly and just getting the kills and getting the pressure around the map and stopping ROX from getting safe farm and scaling.
Yeah. Ray trying to push this lane up as much as he can. Peanut will be able to take out the ward in the river brush there.
Main problem for KT here is they're not going to win the mid lane push in a split. So they have to be cautious.
Oh.
Just threatening there, but Magical Journey available.
Steal Stealing away blue from Talia is pretty significant if they can get it, but they're collapsing on Someday.
That's right, Someday slowed down by that barrel, then dropped the GPL too. You know, Someday does not have any summoners right now. He does have his ult, and he can just run away too, I suppose.
Yeah, nobody was there to really help Smeb in that engagement, and Someday not going to use that chrono break back in, but now they've abandoned the bottom side of the map, so Fly may get one for free.
Yeah, Smeb going aggressive there forced Talia to at least walk towards being in range of the Weaver's wall, and that gets KT the free objective. They've been trading up 2 or 3 skirmishes in a row, but the scaling of ROX still may come up trumps, and the gold lead is non-existent for KT Rolster.
Very tense game right now. Peanut's just going to take his own blue buff.
Yeah, Talia too far away.
Yeah, and they don't want to give that one over to KT.
So this is the point where KT really want to fight. Look at the item disparity between Arrow, who now has 2 big AD items with the Duskblade finished and no armor whatsoever on ROX. If they can find a fight where Arrow can just lead with the curtain call, they fight 4v5 but with the curtain call on the back, and then Arrow can clean up, KT right now, power spikes ready to fight.
Yeah. No reason to fight though. Drake's still a little bit away, but they're going to try for the pick.
Weaver's wall going on a Fly, he gets knocked back and destroyed. A lot of damage. Voice of Light pushes Peanut back, but it's not going to be enough to save him. ROX Tigers with a nice pick there.
And Peanut got to save his ult too, so he can always come back and threaten a flank here around the turret. That
is big. Looks like they're going to turn their attention to the mid lane turret now. It's so low. Maybe they can get it by threatening a dive here. Got the numbers advantage. Meanwhile, Someday is pushing the top lane. There's a curtain call used. Yeah, they're just going to push back the ROX Tigers as much as they can. That minion wave cleared very quickly. Someday going to get the tier 2 up in top lane. So
doesn't have a teleport
though. That's right. So they can keep pushing here in this mid lane.
So they're going to have to send somebody back to deal with Someday. Will be Kuro.
Probably. Tempered Fate used on those minions. Turret aggro does go over the ROX Tigers because of that. Yeah, Someday pushing right into the inhibitor turret.
Got about 1.5 turrets there, and trade for 1 to KT in addition to the kill that they picked up onto Fly.
And that's exactly the sort of situation they want to engineer in 10 minutes when the scaling is gone, but I feel like they can still be fighting here, so even though it feels like they're trading up, it's just the win condition of 5v5 goes completely out the window in 10 minutes, so I'd like to see KT look for a fight while they still can.
Yeah, Peanut still working on that Cinder Hulk. He's going to be in a bit of a rough way, but once he gets a couple of armor items, he's going to just jump on Score, red smite him, and there will be nothing Score can do to stop that backline threat. No way really for Arrow to get off an effective ultimate with the Cannon Barrage and the Onslaught of Shadows if you're squarely on him.
So if you're the ROX Tigers, you just kind of pull back, try to play it safe, play very defensive until you get that late game strength.
Well, if they're overextended like we saw earlier with Fly, you can certainly make the picks.
Sure,
but yes.
Take advantage if they come to you, but overall, play more defensively for a while now.
Yeah.
Just funnel gold onto your gangplank, because that 2 items working towards the more Mount Mortius as a 3rd item. I mean, you just reach a point in this game where, you know, we had a Taric comp already, a late game Taric comp, but there was no Sivir. When you have Sivir as well, the Taric positioning is so much easier, and Taric ult negates damage for 2.5 seconds, which, when you have as much damage as ROX has, really should help them for fights. So
that should make the difference.
You're getting closer and closer to some inevitable power fighting from ROX. So just get the gold while you can.
And there's no kiting for those 2.5 seconds either because of the Talia, the Hecarim, and the GP combo. Like, they will box you in one way or another.
The ROX Tigers bullying their way into the top river just to take a bit more vision control over the Baron. Kuro, meanwhile, forcing Fly away. He's got Gorilla to help him out.
The thing for ROX is that they can rotate so fast that although KT are trying 1-3-1, that is going to move multiple people there, whether it's the Weaver's Wall, the ult, or just walking.
Yeah.
ROX are getting the bonus objectives, and Echo pushing farm into Smeb with no defensive vision doesn't actually do anything for KT.
Yeah, the Sivir wave clear also makes sure that they have more opportunities to rotate into the side lanes just because they're going to get the pressure more often.
Oh, KT, Someday coming from the bottom, was looking for a flank there, but ROX Tigers weren't having any of that. Now Mountain Drake is up, or I'm sorry, no, it is Mountain Drake. Mountain Drake is up. Third one now. ROX Tigers pushing up the mid lane to take some pressure off of it. KT jumping, ooh, Prey's in an awkward spot right now. There's a curtain call, Arrow going for it. Gorilla uses that Taric ultimate, or I'm sorry, nope, just a shield. Just a shield.
Yeah, Arrow drops the curtain call though, so there's one less way for them to poke ROX Tigers down. Nice zones coming in for the boulders.
Yep, Girl used the Weaver's Wall early on there too. Tempered Fate thrown in. That Mountain Drake does go over to ROX Tigers, and that is big to have both of those. Baron could go down so fast. ROX Tigers pushing KT out of their side of the map right now.
And even though it's a Sivir comp, they have double Trinity Force, double Mountain Drake, and a Sivir with Infinity Edge and the Essence Reaver. So any free time with turrets or Baron, and they both explode.
Yeah. And it's an Infernal Drake next. Man, what a series of Drakes for our final game. 3 Mountain Drakes and then an Infernal. Jeez, talk about power.
It's really looking grim for KT already, but if ROX also managed to get the Infernal Drake and add more damage to the late game GP barrels, KT, they're gonna need a bit of a miracle here at this point. We're almost about to cross that threshold in 30 minutes, and the ROX Tigers are just gonna get tankier and tankier. Peanut's starting to get that armor now.
And for a player like Score, you know, that's been in this league since the very beginning, he's come so close now, multiple times to winning a championship, but he's never been able to do it. It's gotta be a heartbreaker if he can't finish this one off in favor of KT.
It's not even a guarantee to go to Worlds either.
No.
They lose this final, they will be at the top of the gauntlet. SK Telecom will be advancing on circuit points as the 2nd seed.
The circuit, the gauntlet itself will be Jinner versus Afrika. Winner plays Samsung, and if it is KT Rolster, winner will play KT Rolster in a best of 5 for that world spot.
Right. Same 3 teams as last year, potentially. KT trying to set up a fight here. Gorilla, Gorilla kind of on his own. What was he doing? Just walking right into KT. Had to burn the flash to stay alive. Whoops.
Just consider the fact that the team with Echo versus Gangplank, the team with the Bard support and attempted a kill lane and bot, has lost both Drakes this game. And the most consequential Drakes of all, the double mountain into Inferno.
Yeah.
It's worrying stuff. The ROX was able to pick up any Drakes. They should not have had the pressure on the map. That should have just been free food. And normally when we saw these Kindreds after the change to the Blood Razor effect, when the barrel was changed, it used to be just free food taking those Drakes soul.
All right, easy turret taken by the ROX Tigers. Do they want to fight? Maybe, not quite sure. Peanut has to use the ult to get away. Flashes to avoid the Tempered Fate. Curtain call used. Gorilla trying to avoid it, but here comes Someday from the back. Tempered Fate thrown in again. Prey trying to back away. Someday forced out. GP Ultimate doing big work in creating a zone for ROX Tigers. That parallel convergence for Someday nearly caught people with it yet again.
All ults down on ROX Tigers. Both summoners on the mid lane. Almost nothing expended from KT. Only the Bard ultimate, and I guess you could say the curtain call as well. So there's a window here for KT to play aggressively.
Might be able to. Window to win this game, though, is rapidly closing if you're KT Rolster.
Yeah, Smeb just getting a bunch of free farm once again in the bottom side of the map. Able to catch up on that. Someday actually going for the Deadman's Blade as a 2nd item here. He is just trying to hit the back line as hard as he can and hopefully take out Prey.
Right.
The other thing it does is that with turrets down, GP has less places to farm because Echo cannot be kited at the best of times, and a Deadman's Blade means he's gonna get that first auto attack in and really confirm the chase. We already seen Kindred chase down that Gangplank, and I'm pretty sure that with 2 slows now and the Voice of Light, you can expect the same from the Aurelian Souls. So really targeting the Gangplank as much as possible.
Peanut from behind, they're trying to make a pick on the fly. He's trying to fly away, no pun intended. Weaver's Wall knocks him back. Peanut can ult over the wall anyway. Score in a little bit of trouble here. Peanut, the one getting blown up. Smeb gets into the back lines. ROX Tigers trying to escape. KT turning it around. Tempered Fate onto Kuro. This might be it. A double kill for Score. KT may have found their opportunity. There goes Kuro. Smeb on the run. Prey can't do anything right now. He's trying to do the damage he can. Boomerang blade. Nearly kills Fly, but he lives with just under 100 hit points remaining. A minute 30. GP ult comes down, they kill Fly! Smeb with a clutch ultimate out of that Gangplank.
And they needed that so much because there was certainly threat onto the Baron, level 16 now on the jungler, so small reprieve, but ROX Tigers, Peanut especially, overdived like crazy. They couldn't even get the Taric ultimate up. They have an engaged combo and they didn't use it.
That was entirely Peanut's fault right there, because he came in, the Banshee's Veil was already down, used his Q to clear the Veil, but Fly was already past the wall by that point. You just have to give that one up, reset for the next fight. Instead, Peanut overcommits, dies instantly in the 1v1 to score.
Let's check this fight out again.
I mean, it's a pretty straightforward comp. You pop Zivaro, you get the Hecarim galloping in, you have the Taric ult Prime, but they had none of those variables together, so Peanut literally gives up his life for free. He's not tanky, remember. You only get Trinity Force and so tanky from the jungle on a budget, and then it's just 3 kills chasing down the members of ROX Tigers.
Yeah, it was nicely played. They did land the Deadly Flourish and had that single target damage in order to finish it off, but man, Smeb was the real hero here. He maybe saved this game by killing that Aurelion Soul, because if Fly gets to recall, they may in fact just lose the Baron right there.
They don't even lose their outer turret. That's how low the members of KT were.
Oh, ROX Tigers caught though. KT going in yet again. Peanut on the outside, someday the one taking a lot of hits. Gorilla a bit low though. Curtain Call gonna try to finish him up. Peanut ults away from the fight. Curtain Call still coming through. Fly gets killed. KT turns immediately on the Baron. Can they take it out though? It's still risky, even with Peanut down.
Gangplank ult is up, remember.
ROX Tigers fighting for their tournament life here. Fighting for perhaps their team life. Baron taken. Oh, it's taken by Smeb! Smeb stole the Baron! Smeb stole the Baron! They're going after Fly now! And ROX Tigers turning it around! Hachani so low! That's 2 kills! That's 2 kills for Smeb!
Unbelievable Baron steal!
He did it! And KT on the run. It's 2 for 3, but ROX Tigers, they have a chance to turn this potentially into an inhibitor.
Score has his smite up. He didn't get to use it. The barrel steal is insane. They might even lose an inhibitor turret.
Smeb has absolutely saved this game
for
the ROX Tigers.
What a monster. They might be able to push it further. They're going after the inhibitor now. There's still 10 seconds left. No, better to just leave it there. Better to keep it safe. But Smeb, what a hero already, and they can take the Infernal Drake off of this as well.
Yeah, that's the big play here. Just get the inhibitor. You still have a late game advantage. Peanut, he's really trying. He doesn't look like he wants to win this game, but Smeb, he is saying, no, we are going to win no matter what.
Man,
guys, it's game 5. When you can have this
2 HP!
Oh my God!
2 HP on that Baron, the cannon barrage!
Holy crap!
Unreal! That was not even a bad smite by Score at all.
2 hit points. 2 hit points, and then the one fight.
Has Score come to winning a title, and then 2 hit points is the difference between actually registering the Baron that could win them the game.
What a nightmare.
That was not like a bad smite at all. I mean, that was so close to a perfect smite by Score there. And it's just 2 HP. And the cannon barrage takes it. Absolutely unbelievable.
ROX Tigers now with about a 5,000 gold lead. They are firmly in control of this game with the Baron. And just to talk again a little bit more about Smeb, I mean, this is a guy who, Monty, you and I called the worst player in the tournament back when he came out. He was a terrible top laner on Incredible Miracle. We gave him the Long Panda Award, if you guys remember what that is. But man, I have never seen a player go from that level to this level. Smeb is a LoL god now.
Well, there's no question, though. There is no other player in the history of this game that has gone from maybe worst top laner in his position in Korea to potentially the best player in the entire world.
ROX Tigers pushing up this top lane now with that Baron buff that Smeb stole away. KT trying to hold on. Score gets chunked out big time by that GP barrel.
I mean, KT earned the Baron that would have actually staved off the 5v5 disadvantage they have, but ROX picking it up. God, it blows open this game in so many different ways.
And now ROX Tigers have the Infernal Drake too. They're moving in.
They've worked so hard for this guy.
They did, still with a chance, going after the turret. Score chunked out yet again.
Where can they go?
Now GPL drop, they're going in. Big ult from Peanut, they're gonna dive. There's the Taric ultimate, keeping everybody safe. The top inhibitor goes down. Arrow using the Jhin ultimate to try to force the ROX Tigers away, but they'll be content to just take perhaps another objective, or no, they want it all. This band of misfits, this band of rejects, KT fighting for their lives, so they're gonna try to turn this. Maybe I spoke too soon. Jin with a kill early on. Arrow keeping KT in it. What a tense game. Someday going after Gorilla. Can he get him? They can. Score with the kill. Prey on the run. Deadly first block by the spell shield. Peanut caught with the W though, as Someday continues to fight, becoming a top lane hero for KT now. Backing to the Raptor pit. Oh, Peanut! Raptors helping out there, and KT has to turn back around.
Silverode again.
That's right. They're trying to rush it. KT backing. Arrow chucked out again by Smeth's Barrel. Oh boy, Kindred ultimate. KT, everybody's so low. This game is not quite over yet.
It's been a wild finish though. Kuro dying there. ROX can't quite push it forward. They don't have a TP, even though they do have the Weaver's Wall to get across the map. We're gonna see a bit of a reset right here.
A grand final with two stories that are both so sweet. Maybe the ROX one, by a hair, is the more compelling, coming from nothing. The story around Worlds last year.
I don't know,
but
man.
KT's comeback and score in particular, the man who has never won despite being a top player in at least 2 positions, and of course being around since the start. And 40 minutes into Game 5, and we still don't know who will take it down.
Man. Well, Gorilla playing it a bit risky, maybe being that far up by himself. Has a little bit of vision though. Smed pushing the bot lane yet again. The ROX Tigers trying to carry this 5,000-6,000 gold lead or so.
Yeah, Smed working on that 6 item now, going for a course for the GA.
Yep. All right, why not push the other turrets? You gotta hand it to ROX Tigers. They are playing this out methodically. They're not overdoing it.
Well, they were overdoing it there for a little bit.
They're not right now.
They've gone down. They have gone down.
I refuse to calm down.
2 inhibitors down. This is the last inhibitor turn up.
All right, KT, this is it. It's do or die time. Voice of Light used early. Gorilla caught by the tempered bait. ROX Tigers backing away, kiting backwards methodically. GP ult dropped to zone out KT. Peanut working on that mid inhibitor now.
Targo wasted. It's down now.
Yeah, that's right. That's dangerous for the ROX Tigers. They might have to back off again.
Well, KT's down 3 ultimates, so
not,
Weaver's
though.
Wall just to zone him off.
Yep, that's right. They get the inhibitor turret. Now they're going towards the inhibitor. ET turning it. They don't really have a lot to fight this with. Score, ooh, risky. Getting very close to getting picked by Kuro there. Why coming in? They caught a Johnny! They caught a Johnny! They got him! There goes the inhibitor now, and this may be it. ROX Tigers moving in. It's a 5v4. They're going to get the final inhibitor, and now this group of players that had either retired or been rejected by other teams comes in. No big sponsor, no big team house. It's not necessary because they are going to win LCK Summer, and they are going to get a spot in Worlds again. There it is. ROX Tigers take it. GG. It's about time.
And that is it. 3rd time is the charm in Korea for the Tigers. They finally overcome their curse. First place is theirs. Congratulations.
Feel-good story doesn't always have the ending, but it gets it tonight. The ROX Tigers win the big one. They go to Worlds. Vindication for 2 years of suffering. And the cheers, they're not going to end anytime soon. The crowd's on their feet.
I can't believe it, and I couldn't be more proud of these guys. I mean, again, to say that you need the infrastructure to win tournaments, to say that you need the big money and the fancy team house to get to Worlds, to make a difference, man. Look at these guys. They practice hard. They're dedicated. It took them 2 years, but they are champions. What a story.
So many of these guys, too, have been playing for much longer than 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
much longer.
Prey had retired. Smeb was, again, rejected. Kuro not doing great himself when this tournament started. Gorilla as well.
I mean, even
Gorilla
think of
lost the
Najin.
finals on Najin White Shield.
And even think of Peanut, the guy who we knew had potential, but didn't even play for Najin in the summer split. Played a couple of games.
I can't believe it. This is their moment, and I gotta say that's it for us, guys. We gotta throw it over the translator, but before we do, on behalf of myself, Papa Smithy, Monte Cristo, Kilios, of course, the OGN staff. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We hope you'll stick with us for League of Legends and other esports here on OGN in the future. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy the ending of the finals, guys. Thanks a lot.
네, 안녕하십니까. 네, 정말 이렇게 제가 인터뷰를 하게 될 줄은 몰랐는데 너무
Now they're going to moving into interview booth
사실 제가 이제
with the winner of today's match, ROX Tiger, and now Caster John's talking with a coach for ROX Tigers, Coach Nope. And Nope says he's really honored to be in the final match right now, and he's really happy to win the final round. It was a pretty tough game, but we keep talking, we keep conversing with each other, and I think that will really make as a team. And because this kind of conversation was really kind of I feel really touched for today's match. And I'm really happy about winning today's match. And like, I don't know what to say. It's just, it's as a coach, I'm really happy for winning for today's final because it was a tough year and we did it. And now Caster John moved his mic to Cry. Although he didn't play for today's match, but he have shown a great performance during the summer season. So any comment? And then Cry said, I don't know what to say for the final. Cry saying that although I didn't come out for the final, but we have practiced each other, and I'm really happy to win as a team, as a ROX Tiger, and I'm really happy today. And now the next interview is going to be a SMAP. The final set. So Caster John want to ask about the last match. So what happened? What's going on? And then SMAP is saying that like he just tried to kill the not the Barons. He tries to take down the other opponent, but he made it to the using ultimate to get the Barons. So he's really happy. He don't know what's going on. What happened? Now Caster John is saying that you finally got the winning for the LCK. And how you feel?
일단 저희가 최근에 경기력이 너무 좋아서
And Smap said recently our performance in the practice and scrim were really great.
이렇게 이길 수 있지
And
않을까
he thought that we might take at the 3-0, but today it was really tough. We went to the 5th round, and because of that, I think I feel really happy, and I think we achieved the goal as a final,
조금 이따가
and he's really happy.
자, 그리고 옆에
Now, Casterjon moved to, he's saying that, Kuru, are you okay to do the interview for today's match, today's final? You're crying right now.
아니 저는 솔직히 운다면 예.
네.
저는 운다면
So Casterjon asked him, how do you feel?
잘 안 돼서 잠깐 쉬었다가 복귀한 프레이가 울 줄 알았어요. 근데
Casterjon thought that the Prey might be crying, but Kuro is the one who cried very loud.
팀에서 결승을 4번째 하잖아요.
Now Kuro is saying that I've been in the final 4 times in ROX Tiger. We've been in second place for 4 times,
마음고생이
and he was very stressed out and he felt very hurt, really bad. But he did it today. He's really happy. The other players are laughing right now.
분위기나 보고 웃어야지 왜 그렇게
Now
웃으세요?
Casterjon is saying, "Oh, Prey, stop laughing. You have to look at the situation right now. Crew is crying and you're laughing."
아, 네, 되게 서럽게 울더라고요.
So Prey is saying that Crew cried really loud right after the 5th game,
울어서 저도 눈물이 얼컥 났는데
and Prey was really touched right after the Crew cried. But still now I don't cry that much as what Crew do, but I'm really touched overall.
너 때문에 준우승한 거 아니야? 왜 이렇게 놀려서 그런 거야? 혼내서 그런 거 아니야 이거? 왜 이렇게 우는 거예요?
So Casterjon saying, did you tease Crew last game, like last LCK final? Did you lost the game because of you, something like that? And then Prey is saying that maybe the Crew were kind of hurtful in the previous 4 final game. So the mic is back to Crew.
준우승만 해가지고
So Casterjon's teasing Crew about the second place and about his interview right now.
이제 괜찮습니다.
Now Crew is saying that I'm okay. I'm ready to speak out.
아, 되게 우승해서 너무 기쁘고요.
Crew said I'm really happy to win today's final.
응원해 주시면
And
정말 감사하겠습니다.
starting from now, I'll be work more hard, do much better for the next world champions.
아이고. 예.
Now the mics move on to Gorilla.
울지마 울자 다독이다가 본인도
아니요, 저 안 울었어요.
So Casterjon, are you touched really loud? And the Gorilla is, although I'm very really touched, I'm not gonna cry.
오늘은 울음이 안 나고
And Gorilla said, like previous 4 game, I cry when I get second place, but now I won the title. I'm really happy. I'm gonna laugh for today.
오늘은 제가 뭐 팀원들한테 석고 대제를 해야 할 정도로 좀 못해서
And Gorilla is saying that although we won the title for today's match, I really kind of feel bad to my teammate. I didn't show like kind of super play.
우승했던 형들이 있거든요. 그때 형들 나 우승했어.
And he's saying to the other brothers that I won the match today.
네. 자 그리고 피넛 저는
Now
피넛이 울 줄 몰라요.
the mics move on to the jungler, ROX Tiger jungler Peanut. Casterjon never expect Peanut to cry actually. And Peanut is commenting that I never knew when you get to first place, I never knew that someone actually gonna cry. He didn't didn't understand, but now he can cry because he won the final. Now he know how they feel, and he's really happy. Like Casterjon asked, "How do you feel?" And Peanut, he cannot explain. It's something that no one can actually understand unless you win the title. It's really kind of dazzling. He don't know what to say.
LCK 준우승 끝냈으니까 이제 롤드컵 우승까지 가봐야 되지 않겠어요?
So now Casterjon saying that you have won the LCK summer title. Now you guys move up to the world champions. What do you think about that? And Peanut said, as a Korean representative, I will make a better, much better performance than before, and we're gonna get the world champions title. And now we move on to the sub coach for the ROX Tigers. And he's saying hello. So Casterjon said you have joined to the ROX Tigers team this season. So what do you think about it? as a sub coach.
우리 친구들이 4년간 프로게이머
And the sub coach is saying that it's not come from me, it's come as a team, and our players did great job. They make today's performance, and they got the title. So they're more desperate than what I did. So I think this all the prize and all everything is go for it as a player. And I'm really happy, and we're gonna prepare well for the world champions after 1 month.
또 우승팀 코치가 돼보니까 더 다르죠. 인터뷰해 보니까 달라요.
And Caster John said, "Are you happy to be as a winning team coach? How do you feel about that?"
그렇죠. 제가 코치하고 나서 첫 우승이라.
And then the sub coach saying that as a first year of the coach, I won the title for LCK, and I'm really happy to say it.
아픔이 컸기 때문이라는 생각이 듭니다. 자, 오늘 뭐 파이널 세트까지 갔기 때문에 더 인터뷰만 그래도 감독한테 마지막.
Now, Caster John, before ending this interview, handing over to a last comment for the coach, who have worked very hard, and everyone and around the world hearing your interview right now. Any comment for that? And coach saying that
당연히 알고 계실 겁니다. 해외에
I believe that everyone knows ROX Tigers, and we have worked very hard. Coach and the players, other people who helped us, work really hard to make today's match. And every fan, I hope they go home safely. And ROX Tigers, let's go ROX Tigers. And Caster John said, let's give a big applause to the ROX Tigers, and that's it for today's interview. The next award ceremony is gonna be handed over to Joel. And thank you very much. And this was Steven, and see you next season. Thank you.
시상식으로 넘어가도록 하겠습니다. 네, 본인들은 잠깐 맨 마지막에 나와야 되는 거 알죠? 네, 지금 있으면 안 되니까 잠깐 자유로 들어가시면 되겠습니다. 자, 그러면 여러분과 함께 시상식을 거행하도록 하겠습니다. 아시다시피 롤잼스는 시상할 부분이 많습니다. 자, 먼저 각 부문 전국 수준에서 가장 높은 KDA를 기록한 5개 포지션 선수들에게 주어지는 상이죠. 자, G스킬 KDA 시상입니다.
With the conclusion of 2016 Coca-Cola Zero League of Legends Champions Summer Korea,
이노베이션 팀 위에
we will be
대표이사님께서
now presenting the awards for outstanding performance shown by players and teams alike. And the first award is the KDA award given by President and CEO of Innovation Team U.
네. 자, 우리 이노베이션 팀의 이광재 대표이사님과 함께 자, G스킬 KDA 상을 시상하도록 하겠습니다.
So
5개 부문 제가 선수 5명을 모두 호명하도록 하겠습니다.
For all 5
탑
positions.
부문 락사이거스의
Top lane is ROX Tigers, Snap, 송경호.
정글 KT 롤스터의
And jungle is KT Rolster score 고동빈.
미드 락사이거스의
Mid lane, ROX Tigers crew 이서행.
번딜
ADC, SK텔레콤 T1 Ben 주식.
Support
SK텔레콤 T1 Wolf 이재환. Give them a round of applause.
네, 각 선수들에게는 200만 원의 상금이 주어집니다. 네, 자, 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 여러분, 큰 박수로 환영해 주시기 바랍니다.
Give them a round of
탑
applause.
락사이거스의 스맵 송경호 선수입니다. 네, 전달 부탁드리겠습니다. 자, 이번 시즌 스프링에 이어서 서머까지 2회 연속 수상했습니다. 자, 그리고 정글
He's received this award for the second consecutive time since spring of 2016.
정글러로서 가장 높은
And for jungler, it's KT Rolster score.
고동민 선수입니다. 그리고 미드
Mid lane,
락사이거스의 크로
ROX Tigers crew
이서행입니다.
이서행.
선수는 4회 연속 수상.
This is his 4th time to receive this award from 2015 spring and summer and 2016 spring and this summer. And for ADC, SK텔레콤 T1 Bang.
네, 배두익 선수 다시 한번 축하드리겠고요. 그리고 서포.
And for support, SK텔레콤 T1 Wolf
SK텔레콤 T1 울프 이재환입니다. 네, 제가 잠시 사진 촬영의 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 자, 이노베이션 팀의 이광재 대표님과 함께 G스킬 KDA 수상한
And these are your Gskill KDA award winners.
다시 한번 큰
Give them a round of
박수를
applause.
부탁드립니다. 네, 앞으로도 더 좋은 활약 부탁드리도록 하겠습니다. 네, 자리로 들어가도 되겠습니다. 이거 시상해주신 이광재 대표님 다시 한번 감사드립니다. 자, 다음은
Next, we have the award for the most outstanding players who have consistently performed at the highest level. It's the Sonokong IB MVP Award. The award will be presented to the regular season MVP and also the playoff MVP.
손오공 IB의 방원정
And it will be presented by President and
맞아주십시오.
CEO of Sonokong IB, Bang Jung-won.
네, 방 대표님과 함께 자, MVP 시상을 하도록 하겠습니다. 두 개의 부분인데요. 자, 정규 시즌
First off is a player who has
MVP
consistently
부터
shown the highest level
진행하도록
performance
하겠습니다.
throughout
네.
the season. It's the regular
자,
season MVP award.
1200점을 달성하면서 압도적인 편찬하였습니다.
He has received 1,200 points, receiving his second consecutive MVP. It's ROX Tiger Smith, Song Kyung-ho.
네, 정규 시즌만 좋았던 락사이거즈인데 이번 시즌부터는 다릅니다. 자, 그러면 플레이오프를 비롯한
Including today's finals
플레이오프
performance, it's the
MVP는
award for the
누구일지
playoff MVP.
플레이오프 MVP 락사이거즈의 크로
ROX Tigers Kuro Lee
이성행입니다.
Seo-haeng.
지난 시즌은 KDA 탐험급 MVP 차지하고 있어도
Last
우승을
season, he has
못했습니다만
dominated the
올해는 다릅니다.
KDA
자,
scenes,
시작하도록
but he has
하겠습니다.
received this playoff
정규
MVP
시즌
this season.
MVP 네 부탁드리겠습니다. 1,200점에 빛납니다. 각 선수에게는 500만 원의 상금이 주어지는데요. 여러분 큰 박수로 축하해 주시기 바랍니다. 정규 시즌
Give them a round of applause.
MVP
These are your MVPs for this summer season.
송경호입니다. 자, 다음은 플레이오프 특히 오늘
Today was an emotional game for him. It's the playoff MVP. ROX Tigers Kuro Lee Seo-haeng.
네, 잠시 사진 촬영 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 정규 시즌 MVP 락사이거즈 스맵 송경호
This is
그리고
the regular season MVP, ROX Tigers Smith, and the playoffs MVP, ROX Tigers
여러분 다시 한번 두 선수에게
Kuro with the
큰 축하의
MVPs
박수를
of the season.
부탁드립니다.
Give them a round of applause.
네, 자리로 돌아가도 되시겠습니다. 네. 그리고 수고해주신 우리 강원영 대표이사님 다시 한번 감사 말씀드립니다. 자, 이제 개인상
Now
시상에
we
이어서
will
본상
proceed over to our main
진행하도록
awards.
하겠습니다. 3위
First up
준우승 그리고
is the
우승입니다.
award for
자,
third
3위
place.
시상은 자, CJENM 자,
The award will be
OGN의
presented by Director Headquarters at CJNM's OGN, Kang Hun-ju. Give them a round of applause.
네, 강원주 본부장님과 함께 롤챔스 서머 3위 시상하도록 하겠습니다.
League of Legends Champions Korea Summer
시험
third place.
했습니다만은
With an unfortunate loss in the playoffs, they had to settle for third place this year, but without a doubt, this team still proved their worth, impressing us again and again. It is third place, SK Telecom T1.
네. 플레이오프 승승패패패 아쉬웠습니다만 그것이 SK텔레콤에겐
They had the unfortunate loss, but they still proved their worth as a team.
SK텔레콤에게는
This is SK Telecom T1 winning third place.
오늘 결승전 경기 결과에 따라서 롤드컵 직행 티켓이 주어집니다. 네, 잠시 사진 촬영의 시간을 우리 강원주 본부장님과 나누도록 하겠습니다. 3천만 원 상금과 함께 롤드컵에서 SK텔레콤을 만날 수 있습니다. 여러분, 다시 한번 3위 차지한
And you will see them again in World Championship, SK Telecom T1.
네, 롤드컵에서 그리고 다음 시즌에서 더 좋은 모습으로
We hope to
돌아오리라
see a better performance from you in the World Championship and in next season.
CJENM OGN의 강원주 본부장님 감사드립니다. 자, 이어서 본상
Next is the runner-ups, the award for second place.
자, 2위
To present the award, we have the Secretary General for CASPA, Jo Man-soo, to help present the award.
여러분 큰 박수 맞으시기 바랍니다. 한국 e스포츠 협회 정병헌 회장님 모시겠습니다. 큰 박수로 맞아주십시오.
It's going to be actually the president of CASPA, Jung Byung-hun, who's going to be presenting the award.
네, 자, 회장님 모시고 네. 영광의 준우승 시상을 하도록 하겠습니다. 네.
And we will not present the
아쉬웠습니다.
award. They were so close, and we can't help but feel they could have won it all. But nevertheless, they have shown great resilience all throughout the season. League of Legends champions, Korea Summer 2016 runner-up.
준우승 큰 박수로 맞으시기
Give them a round of
바랍니다.
applause. It's KT Rolster.
말씀드린 바와 같이 5세트 접전 끝에 패한 팀은
And this is the closest as they can get.
그날 승부는
Dragging the game all the way to the
승리한
fifth game.
우승한
And unfortunately losing a close game to get second place.
멋지게 잘 싸워준
But they fought hard and they fought well.
이상의
And they are very deserving of the
플레이와
second
함께
place.
감격을 만들어준 KT 롤스터에게 준우승
Give them a round of applause. KT Rolster.
상금 6천만 원이 수여됩니다. 그리고 다들 아시는 것처럼 국대 선발전, 국가대표 선발전을 통해서
And they will be in the World Championship qualifiers next week,
북미에서 펼쳐지는 롤드컵에서 만날 수 있게 되길 한번 기대해 보도록
fighting their
하겠습니다.
way into their
자, 그래서
qualification set into the World
한국스포츠협회
Championships.
전정훈회장님과 함께 잠시 포토타임의 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 여러분, 준우승 차지한 KT
Give a round of applause to the second place, KT Rolster.
다시 한번 큰 축하의 박수를 부탁드립니다. 네. 오늘 플라이 선수는 39도에 가까운 고열에서도 투혼을 발휘했습니다. 네. 자, 아시겠으면 다음에 더 좋은 모습 보여주면 되겠죠? 네, 자리로. 네.
We wish you better luck next time in next season's
좋은
LCK.
모습 보여주셨고요. 조금만 기다려주세요. 우리 또 엔딩은 또 준우승 팀을 같이 하니까. 자, 이제 영광의
And last but not
시상을
least,
하도록 하겠습니다. 아, 그리고 시상해주신 한국e스포츠협회
the
전명훈
kings
회장님
of
다시
LCK,
한번 거듭해서 감사
they are
말씀드립니다.
seated themselves on the
자, 이제
highest throne, and the
우승팀 시상을
representative
하도록
will be
하겠습니다.
by
영광의
representative of
왕좌의
Korea for Riot Games,
팀에
Lee
대한
Seung-hyun, to help us present the award.
한국 대표이신 이승현 대표님을 모시도록 하겠습니다. 여러분, 큰 박수로 환영해 주십시오. 자, 코카콜라 제로 롤챔스 서머
Coca-Cola Zero,
하도록 하겠습니다.
League of Legends champions, Korea
상단일의
Summer
준우승만 세 번,
champions.
특히 LCK 두 번.
They were always at the
하지만
brink, but
세
had to
번째는
settle for
달랐습니다.
second place for
여러분,
3 consecutive
가장
times.
큰
But finally
박수로
winning their
축하해 주시기
grand
바랍니다.
champions,
영광의 우승,
it's ROX Tigers.
타이거즈입니다. 네, 정말 감격의 무대 포기하지 않았습니다. 특히
It's such an emotional win that they never gave up to the end.
사냥을 쳐다볼 때까지는 어떻게 될지 몰랐는데요. 하지만
We never knew who was going to be the winner at the end, but in the end, the winner is ROX Tigers.
상금 1억 원이 수여됩니다. 그리고 롤드컵에서 더 멋진 플레이를 보여준
And we hope that you show us a wonderful performance in the World Championships.
힘 좋은 워낙 무거워서 네, 우리 선수들 같이 들어야 되며 네, 잠시 포토타임의 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 여러분, 코카콜라 제로 롤챔스 서머
These are your League of Legends champions, Korea Summer champions, ROX Tigers.
네, 자, 롤드컵에서 더 큰 활약 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다.
And we will expect great things from you in the World Championship.
대표님께 다시 한번 감사의 박수를 부탁드립니다.
And give them a round of applause.
네. 자, 이렇게 해서 시상식을 모두 마치고
And that is the end of the award ceremony.
우리 인사와 함께 짜릿한 보기만 했던 네 번이나 보기만 했던
And
우승
finally
세레모니를
got the
거행하도록
champions.
하겠습니다. 자, 지난
Let us
3개월
give
동안,
the fans
이런 아름다운 대회 그리고 많은 감격과
a big goodbye.
감동이 함께한 대회를 만들어주신
And we want to thank everyone who has helped out to make this finals happen.
오늘 이곳 이 큰 잠시 실내 체육관에 가득 메워주신 팬들께 거듭거듭
And we thank all the fans around Korea who came to this on a hot day to Jamsil Gymnasium.
이것으로 정리하도록 하겠습니다. 저희는
And we will
잠시
see you.
준비의 시간을 갖고 이어지는 자기 리그 승강전과
We will see you in next week's World Championships qualifiers and the relegation for LCK.
롤컵으로 더욱더 화끈한 롤 e스포츠로
And we will come back next season.
인사드리겠습니다. 여러분 모두 안녕히 계십시오.
And we hope you enjoyed it. See you next season.